episode of Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Jesus Christ died and he rose again. Amen. Let's get into it. So, first of all, I know y'all saw this, Luka trade. Okay. I was at work. I was at work. And I just got on X to see if anything interesting was happening. And lo and behold, something interesting was happening. It was reported that Luka was traded for Anthony Davis, and at first I did not believe it, but I saw where Shams Charania, who is legit, I saw that, and that took over, and that pretty much took over the internet for about the next 48 hours, okay? And so yeah, that was surprising right there. That was surprising right there, to say the least. But all right, so I did not know this, and maybe I'm just too young to remember this, but I did not know that Bill Laimbeer actually had a basketball game named after him. Okay, it was on Super Nintendo. Bill Laimbeer actually had a basketball game, and it was called Bill Laimbeer's Combat Basketball. Okay, and the basis of the game was the game takes place in 2031. Bill Laimbeer is commissioner of a basketball league, fires the refs, and created a style of play with no rules or fouls. Doesn't that kind of sound similar to the NBA today? Nevertheless, Laimbeer's commissioner of a basketball league fires the refs and created a style of play with no rules or fouls. Use of weapons is legal. Players could check each other without personal or team fouls. Kind of sounds like the NBA today too. I just mentioned that weapons is legal and bombs would appear on the court. Yeah, so Bill Laimbeer was so reviled and so hated around the league that apparently he had a basketball game named after him. Bill Laimbeer's Combat Basketball. I am way too young to remember that. The game actually came out on Super in NES. Yeah, so never knew that Bill Laimbeer had a basketball game named after him. That's a memory. I don't remember that one. Maybe some of you all do, but I don't. So John Salley is probably one of my favorite people. Okay, John Salley has some of the best stories. Playing with the Pistons, the Heat, the Bulls, Raptors, Lakers over his career. Okay. And so he tells a story. And you want to know, and I mentioned in a couple of videos back, I think I mentioned in a couple of videos back that the Detroit Pistons would fight each other during practice, okay? Chuck Daly would roll out the ball and say, all right, guys, here's the ball. Play for your minutes. And guys would fight. The Pistons would have real fights in practice, okay? Because, no, they wanted to get hanging time. So, John Salley tells a story of his very first training camp practice, okay? This is his very first training camp practice. And he sees Rick Mahorn and Sidney Green getting into it. The first day of training camp, okay? Rick Mahorn and Sidney Green are getting into it. John Salley steps in and says, hey, we're all others here. No need to fight. This is what happened next. Rick Mahorn punched John Salley in the jaw, and Sidney Green kicked him in the leg. True story. True story. First training camp, John Salley's first ever training camp. He got punched by Rick Mahorn and got kicked in the leg by Sidney Green. And they looked at him and said, "Stay out of grown folks' business." And Chuck Daly is standing there like this. Chuck Daly standing there looking at John Salley like this the whole time. And Chuck is like, "Salley, get up." That's what Chuck Daly said. Chuck Daly just sitting here with his arms folded like, "Salley, get up." And John Salley said, from that time on, whenever there was a fight at practice, you got to let the guys hash it out. And John Salley never stepped in front of players who were fighting at a Pistons practice ever again, okay? Chris Childs and the late great Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, man. So Chris Childs tells a story of how his fight with Kobe Bryant happened, okay? So Chris Childs says that they're running up and down the court, okay? They're bumping each other a little bit. And Kobe starts throwing elbows, okay? Kobe starts throwing elbows. And Chris Childs is like, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. So then they're running down the court together. Kobe is still throwing elbows, okay? And then he looks over at the referee, Monty McCutcheon. He says, Monty, are you gonna do something about these elbows? And Chris Childs said that Monty McCutcheon gave the emoji shrug, like, He said, And Chris Childs was like, okay. Chris Childs was like, okay. So Kobe hits him with a few more elbows, a few more cheap shot elbows, okay? And so then, well, we'll just let the footage tell a story. Here it is.
Let's see what happens here. There's a bump here. Just keep watching these guys. Little shove there. Childs shoves and they talk. Now watch Childs. He's going to hit him with the head. A little bump there and boom, boom. 2 quick punches. And then Kobe throws a couple, so there'll be suspensions here.
In fairness, after the headbutt by Childs, Kobe threw a forearm up in the area of the neck, and then the 2 punches by Childs.
Absolutely. There'll be suspensions here.
Yeah. You don't mess with players like Chris Childs, okay? You don't mess with players like Chris Childs. As someone had put it, the San Antonio Spurs, when they faced the Knicks in the finals the previous year, they said facing the Knicks was like facing a bunch of junkyard dogs. They scrap, they fight, they don't give up, okay? And so the Knicks were basically made up of a bunch of junkyard dogs, with Patrick Ewing being the lead dog. Then you had Marcus Camby, Allen Houston, Latrell Sprewell, Chris Childs, Kurt Thomas, come in behind them. Okay? So Chris Childs was one of those junkyard dogs. And I guess Kobe Bryant found out how much of a junkyard dog Chris Childs was. And you heard Bob Costas say, it takes 2 officials to restrain him. Now Ewing is joined with his Shaq. Yeah, so Yeah, so those were yeah, so man, now I know why the Pistons were pretty good for a stretch of 4 to 5 years. Now I know why they were damn good. They would have fights in practice, real fights in practice, and that's why they were able to win back-to-back titles. Yeah, but man, I just can't get a hold of the fact that John Salley, his first training camp, got punched by Mahorn and got kicked in the leg by Sidney Green and said, "Hey, stay out of grown folks' business." But I just thought of this. Then again, I was watching that Bad Boys documentary, and John Salley said he did get into a fight with Bill Laimbeer. John Salley was like, "But who doesn't want to kick his ass? So who doesn't want to kick Bill Laimbeer's ass? Not going to be able to." He said. Then John Salley said, "When I came here, I realized this was a complete adult team. I had to grow up extra fast on this squad, and I guess getting punched by Rick Mahorn and getting kicked in the leg by Sidney Green was his initiation." All right, y'all. That's it, and that's all for Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace out. God bless. Many blessings to you all.